Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Neeru Tandon from Department of English, VSSG College, Kanpur. We are discussing paper English Language Teaching. This module on language teaching methods has been written by Dr. Nidhi Arora. Whenever we talk about language teaching, there are two things involved. One is language. Of course, we are talking about English language. And the second component is teaching. With the teaching, we think about the teacher. Now, the question in front of every teacher of English language is how to teach. How to teach the language that was considered as a foreign language, now that is considered as a second language. Over 1 billion people are learning English. That is the craze, that is the demand. People want to learn English. Specifically in India, more and more people, they want to communicate in English. Moreover, it is the only sign or visible sign of being educated. If you are educated, people will expect that you should be able to communicate in English. In such a situation, when a teacher gets the classroom where the learner is not capable of just expressing himself even in the native language, and the teacher is supposed to teach them the second language, the English as the second language, the problems are manifolds. How to deal with a mixed ability classes? Again, that is the problem. And English as a language itself has so many changes every day. Like, for instance, English as a language has so many words. I told you that over 2 billion words are written. How many to memorize? How to just develop the vocabulary to that extent? How to teach students that way? So in that case, in English, German words are there, Latin words are there, French words are there. We'll discuss them in the next module. Today, we are discussing English language teaching methods. Now, this module is going to focus on some pedagogical approaches in teaching language in order to make it more innovative. Habit of reading is one of the most important pedagogical approach through which seeds of creativity can be sown. Therefore, this module is an attempt to understand the different pedagogical approaches to explore innovations for quality language education. It has rightly been observed that the matter and method for teaching language to Indian students should be completely reoriented. If we want to make our students more efficient, the quality of language education should be synchronized with the industry expectations. The teaching of language should not focus only at adding up to the knowledge, rather it should aim at generating the creativity in the mind. Creation of environment is the chief quality of teaching language. In the process, the role of a teacher becomes very, very vital. Now, whenever we talk about teacher, the first name, the eternal teacher that comes in the mind is Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. He aptly said, "The teacher is the pivot of civilization," unquote. The teacher should follow some pedagogical approaches in order to shape up the personality of each student. The teacher should provide the theoretical knowledge with practical examples along with the moral support to make a student emotionally intelligent to implement the classroom teachings into real-world scenario. When it comes to ELT, role of teacher is all the more important. While teaching language students, teachers should build confidence in an individual, because students, they are there, they are conscious that they are lacking this capability to speak this particular language. They are there to learn, but as the social scenario is such, if you cannot converse in English, then you are a dumb fellow. With this mindset, when they come to classroom, it's very difficult for teacher to make them understand. So the first thing with the teacher is to motivate them to the level where they can come and start learning the language, the nuances of the language. Any student can be successful if he knows harmonious coordination and smooth administration, which can be possible only through the perfect articulation of the language. Now, what do we need for learning this language? When we talk about methods, when we talk about different requirements of learning this language, the first thing comes as reading. Inculcating the reading habit in the students is a challenge not only for parents but also for teachers. This is the time when teachers want them to study, but students want fast food kind of knowledge. So apart from providing pleasure, reading makes a person conversant. When the knowledge gained through reading coupled with the logical skills, it makes an excellent combination. Reading habit is very, very important because reading enhances the skill of articulation in the mind of readers. It generates the logical development of thoughts and cohesion. And to face the examination, students should have the skill to retain the learned matter and reproduce the matter in a structured manner. Reading habit gives confidence. The other perspective of reading is to learn the sentence construction by the writer, which enhances the skill of articulation in the mind of readers. You just see that the person who is a better writer or a better speaker, he must be a better reader also. When you read good words, you read good novels, good poems, works of good writers, then you learn indirectly. You learn how to frame the sentences. You learn indirectly what are the words to coin in different situations. You learn that if you want to express something this way, instead of quoting that particular writer, you can also frame sentences, you can also express yourself in the same way. So indirectly, you keep on enriching yourself by reading good works. So the skill of articulation in the mind of readers is the result of the good reading habit. It gives the different dimensions to express the raw thoughts. Instead of forcing the direct grammar approach, the best alternative to learn language is to learn language by literature. It leaves the long-lasting traces in the mind of readers. It brings the language in flow with the right choice of words at the right time. You see that many times it happens, students feel that they know the answer, but they don't have the support of the language to express themselves. So this is called the raw thoughts. Those raw thoughts are there within their minds, but they don't have courage to express themselves. Why? Because they are not good readers. So they are not confident whether what they want to convey, they will be conveyed with the right choice of words, whether they are in the position to express themselves in a better and the correct language. So that is the problem, and we discuss all these things we can remove it with the good reading habit, because the confidence generated by reading habit will help you in just expressing yourself and getting command over the language. Reading generates the logical development of thoughts and cohesion, which are the indirect contributions of the reading habits. Thus, reading contributes in academic success as well. Reading makes a person mature to deal with the mundane problems more effectively. To inculcate the reading habit, many universities have included book review as one of the components of internal marks assessment. At individual institutional level also, for any sort of competitions, there should be a provision of giving book along with the certificates just to motivate the learners. All the teachers of English language are of the view that all language students who are on the road of success must read books. One of the most important characteristics of leadership is that the golden words of different good authors should be imprinted in the minds of the aspirant. This will not only make him a successful person but also a complete individual. You can take the example of famous cricket player Sidhu. The way he speaks English and the way he coins the words, and he is such a good reader. He gives the credit to the books he had gone through, and that is why the word coined Siddhism, because of the way he speaks English and quotes people that he had gone through in various books. Adolescents entering the adult world in the 21st century will read and write more than any other time in human history. They will need literacy to feed their imaginations so they can create the world of future, unquote. Now, what are the objectives of reading? Why should we inculcate the reading habit? What are the benefits of reading so much or reading good literature? We can enlist them. That to amplify the mental prospects, you should read. To shape the conduct, to have the good thoughts, you must read. To keep trajectory of new developments, to cultivate a skill, reading is must. To be benefited from others' experience that they have penned down in various books, you must go through them. To refine the sensitivity, you must go through the good literature. To develop the creativity, you need the words and the language and the way they are enjoined to make a good piece of literature. You must read. To critically assess the situation, reading is must before writing, because reading comes previous, then comes writing. Gray stated, I quote, "Complete reading involves recognition, understanding, and integration. There is a pedagogical reason to inculcate reading habit as the voracious reader becomes good writer." Now you see in this quote that complete reading. What is complete reading? That involves the first thing, that is recognition. That you should recognize who are the good writers and the way whatever they have written, what is the matter. A student must be interested in that particular thing. That we advise our students, the beginners, that go through the Cartoon Network. There also you will get to know very good books. There also you will get to know very good words. Later on, according to your interest, find the good books. Then understanding. If you have interest in that particular thing, then you will understand. You will try to understand whatever the writer wants to communicate. And then integrate that within your network. That just annihilate that, and then reading is complete. Without understanding, without comprehending, reading is incomplete. After reading, another method of getting the command over language is writing. Writing has been mentioned as a therapy. Why therapy? Because whatever else you have, once you start writing, you will get to know that you are getting command over the language by and by. You will be able to get rid of the errors you used to do previously. So writing is termed as a therapy. All the great writers in the world recommend the writing therapy. In this process, the beginner should write minimum 3 pages a day. It should be practiced in terms of freedom of expression without any deliberate efforts. Just follow the thought process as it occurs and pen down all thoughts spontaneously. On an average, a person gets around 60,000 ideas in a day. Writing therapy can give the way to those thousands of thoughts the platform of expression, or else those thoughts could have been died in the mind itself. Just imagine if the great writers like Bacon, they have not written their ideas, they have not penned down their ideas in the form of the essays that we have today. It was impossible for us to reach the mind of the Bacon. So we are reaching those great minds through the help of the writing. There is a possibility that at initial level, the quality of thought and expression may not be impressive, but this should be overlooked, and a student should follow the therapy religiously. Gradually, writing therapy brings out the best out of the mind of the individual who religiously follow the practice. At academic level, it should be encouraged in the colleges or in the schools as well. This is one of the innovative methodology to be implemented, encouraged and monitored in order to bring the best out of the students. Now, reading, writing, but in the present age, you cannot ignore the technology. Use of technology is also very, very important as an aid. Of course, it cannot replace the teacher, but along with that, it helps you a lot to master the language. Technology is an integrated part of the language studies. To make language study more innovative, the PowerPoint presentations can be used for all grammar classes. The retention of visuals is better than oral communication. Subject expert should collect some videos related to the subject and play those videos along with the theory. The scene is always retained more. So whenever the lesson is just in front of your eyes, the student feels attached with that. He feels a relationship with the author. He feels something that has been perceived by him. So all the senses together, they want to retain that particular lesson. So definitely the idea will be better, the result will be better. Students can give presentations, they can record their own thoughts in the form of videos. Recording should be critically examined by the presenter himself to check the language, body language and voice intonations. Then quiz can be conducted in the classrooms in PowerPoint in order to make classroom studies more interactive and lively. Such exercises will build a confidence in the student and the required corrective actions will be taken at the right stage. Improvement is possible through listening, producing, correcting and practicing with technology. Technology is there to help us at every stage of learning language. It will pull the participation in the classes. Language labs are very, very helpful in order to bring the more clarity on pronunciations and accent. Though the investment of huge amount may be the point of concern, but results are very impressive in learning process. Language studies can be innovative only by integrating pedagogy and technology. One can learn the language by reading, can express spontaneously by writing, but the most important part of language learning process is communication, which can be inherited by observation. You are a good reader, you write in a good way, but when it comes face-to-face communication, when it comes to face the mob, face the crowd, as a teacher or as a presenter, then you are at a loss if you are not a good observer. Communication is a combination of language spoken as well as language delivered. How you convey the thoughts in different contexts and scenario is also a countable aspect. Through active observation, this can be learned. Now, soft skills. Gaining knowledge is good, but soft skills are also equally important. Many researchers found that for professionals, need for maintaining public relation skill is greater than the need for technology system and resource management skills. The soft skills refer to all those personal qualities and attitudes that makes person a compatible and resourceful employee. Every country just requires persons who are well versed in all those hard skills and soft skills. When it comes to communication, so communicative approach to soft skills is also very, very important. This diagram comprises three functions which should be in sync if the head will think good thoughts along with the good heart, which cares for values, the hands will execute the work in excellent manner. So there should be a coordination between the head, thought process and working. This basic combination should be taught to the young generation who tries to run after the success and want everything in life instantly. They should be taught the law of nature, that what we sow, that we reap. We should not forget the poet Kabir Das, who said about speaking, and he particularly told about language. That language, whatever you speak, should be good and it should impress the listeners. People should feel good, and you also, while speaking, should feel happy by expressing yourself with the right choice of words. Teachers of English language, almost every teacher faced this problem in the classroom: how to deal with mixed ability class. What is mixed ability class? Where students are from different capabilities. Like one student who got 90% and one who got just pass marks. Both are there in the same class. Teacher is teaching to both of them, but how? How to tackle this particular situation that both are engaged properly and teacher is able to satisfy them. So we need to quote Brown, who aptly said, "The burden on the learner is to invoke the appropriate style for the context. The burden on the teacher is to understand the preferred styles of each learner and to sow the seeds of flexibility in the learner." It becomes difficult when learners are ignorant about the different learning strategies. And on a similar note, most of the teachers who are not aware of that learners do not know the secrets of learning strategies. By not stressing learning strategies, educators in essence discourage students from developing and exploring new strategies, and in so doing limit students' awareness of their cognitive capabilities. It is possible that all students in the class achieve the same sort of success in life, but at the same time, it is duty of the teacher to help them in making them learn how to learn theoretical lessons as well as the life's practical lessons. There is another word you will come across, that is self-directed learning. Of course, teacher is important. He can tell you the ways how to master the language. He can help you with the techniques. He can help you with the procedural part. But when it comes to self-directed learning, you cannot ignore this part also. Learning to learn is a crucial skill. How to learn, learning to learn. These are two things. A self-learner is the person who can judge the requirement of expectations of the subject and of individual himself. The quality innovative education system should be developed in such a way to make a student ready for making his own plans to study effectively. It is required to follow the natural process of psychological development. The new education system should make students responsible to deal with new initiative. It includes the analysis of problem and insight to judge what needs to be learnt, and person should know what to access for which problem and how to handle the problem. Merriam emphasized the fact that the self-directed learning in higher education is both a goal of education and the process that leads to successful learning. In short, he wants that no more spoon feeding should be there. A student should be capable enough while they reach the stage of higher education that they are directed towards the self-learning. Language learning totally depends on self-motivational factor. In learning language, the sky is the limit, and it all depends on an individual at what level he wants to take his communication skills. Learning language is a lifelong process. Let's keep on learning things. It becomes difficult when learners are ignorant about the different learning strategies. And on a similar note, most of the teachers are not aware that learners do not know. But this thing, when they come to know about learners' capability, first what they should do, they should try to come down to the level of the learners and then raise them slowly, raise them to the level, the desired level. It is not compulsory that from the day one you start teaching them the particular problems, how to deal with the particular problems. No, just try to understand their level. Just try to make them confident. Just try to make them curious about the language, interested in the language learning, and then teach them. That only then all the methods, all the techniques and procedure will work. The age has gone where classrooms only utilized logical and linguistic approaches to education. In such tensed atmosphere, intelligence of individual dies. So first, make the room comfortable for him. Make the communication between the teacher and the learner a very cozy one, so that they should feel free to express themselves, because they need the language and teacher is there to give them that language. The language of expression, the language in which they will keep on tackling problems and giving solutions and getting solutions. So first make them comfortable, first make them confident, and then teach them a proper language. Thus, the innovation lies in making overall personality grooming through education. All sorts of intelligence require different language skills. So instead of focusing only at one dimension, emphasis can be shifted to different other perspectives as well. The education system should help each student to assess stronger and weaker intelligence areas so that the corrective course of action can be taken at the right time. Now, when we talk about multiple intelligence, what is multiple intelligence? Innovation lies proper assessment as well as proper mentoring of these students can be that they should be word smart, number smart, picture smart, body smart, music smart, people smart, and self smart. What do we mean by all these words? That he should be in the position to understand the words. He should be in the position to just place right word at the right place. He should be able to just number them accordingly where they are needed. The picture should be correlated. The body language should be perfect to express that language. He should be able to enjoy the music. The rhythm should be there in his language, in his presentation. He should well present himself as a person, and he should be self-smart. However, all sorts of smart development need competent language for the same. At least if the education system helps their students to find out their competent area, students can be the language expert in their own competency area. This will enhance their confidence and can make the students more skilled. One more thing is required other than we have discussed reading, we have discussed writing, we have discussed other competencies. With this, one more thing, that is critical thinking. Thinking ability is very, very important. You have command over language, but you don't have thoughts. Then the road is empty. You need thoughts coupled with language. Then only you can express yourself and you can master the perfect area. Critical thinking is cultural thinking also. How? Because to have overall grooming of personalities, that is required. Method of questioning should be used to infuse critical thinking in innovative quality education system. The lesson plan should include the end-to-end required preparations, execution dates, and also reward and recognition for any significant achievement of any student. They should be encouraged for critical thinking to come up with the questions, come up with the queries, and discussions with the teachers. Emotional intelligence is the most critical humanistic skills and competency. Gone are the days when you used to just worry about IQ levels. Now the time is to discuss the EQ levels, that is emotional quotient. Emotional quotient development help individuals in understanding their own competency as well as other interests, habits, and preferences. Alfred Lord Tennyson, a great poet of 19th century Victorian England, said, I quote, "The shell must break before the bird can fly," unquote. What he meant, that he should be ready, he should be prepared, his wings should be competent enough before he takes this job of flying. If he is not ready bodily, then if the shell will break, then what will happen? So which means the education system should help a student to be open-minded. Individual emotional intelligence should allow him to restructure and modify the old stuff by removing the personal blinders. The student should be ready for extension of learning language. The father of English essays, Francis Bacon, very aptly said, I quote, "Through indignities men rise to dignity." It means, first, you should get exposed to various situations. You should not be scared of committing mistakes. By committing mistakes, you will learn not to commit mistakes. You will learn how to avoid mistakes. You will learn that how to speak properly, how to get command over language in the right way. In the process of learning language, students should be emotionally strong. They should not be disturbed by the initial obstacles. Also, they should not make fun of the beginners. Competencies like collaborative spirit, self-control will make the person emotionally intelligent. This understanding of self will make them smart. Now, when we talk about unconscious competence and the conscious competence. The first stage where a student is unaware of the importance of language skills, he enjoys the ignorance. Like, we are ignorant. I don't know German. I am not trying to learn German. So I am unconscious competent. The second stage, he becomes aware of the importance of the language skills and finds himself incompetent. I know I am going to be in such a situation where without knowing German, I will be at loss. And now I realize how incompetent I am. I don't know that language, without which I cannot survive. I need that language, but I am incompetent. Till the time I was not dealing with that language, I was not thinking, I was not conscious about learning that language, I was competent. Third stage, where he puts efforts to become competent, may be demotivated due to multidimensional pressures. Okay, a child comes in front of me and speaks in such in a proper way. I am just fiddling with words and cannot even express myself. I feel demotivated. People laugh at me. Such is the case with the English. And the fourth stage, our quality education should focus on developing the language skills unconsciously, which should come freely and spontaneously. So this language drilling should start at the initial levels and not towards the end. Thus, pedagogical approaches in teaching language can make studies more innovative. Habit of reading sow the seeds of creativity, and the writing therapy brings the power of expression. Use of technology makes the student efficient. Observation and communicative approach to soft skills make head heart and hand work and synchronization. Mixed ability classes encourage self-directed learning. Critical thinking makes the student emotionally intelligent. An innovative quality education system should focus on unconscious competency to prepare them mentally and intellectually great persons. Just to sum up, that learning methods are many, just like roads are many. But the point where we are supposed to reach is one. Our destination is one. Get the control over English language. Learning English language as a second language is essential, and we all are marching towards it. Thank you for visiting EPG Pathshala.